Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Whiskey Wednesday Night here on the Mash and Drum. My name is Jason C. Welcome back to the show. And if it's your first time, welcome to the show. While you're here, like the video, subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. We are getting there. So really appreciate everybody chiming in. It's been an incredible week, I will say. And, we'll get into that a little bit. But first, before we do that, I do want to say cheers to a bunch of people in the chat first. I already have the original Four Roses single barrel here in the Glen. Figured I'd pour this before we get into the other three new ones. Basically, comparing this OBSV to the other three recipes that are going to be available here in the single barrel collection. So, Sean Ortega, yes, thank you so much, man. We will get into that. So here we go. Let's say hi to EJ. What's going on, EJ? We got JG in the house. Travis Rhodes says, good evening, everyone. OESO is the hard one to find in Tennessee right now. Yeah, we'll get into that too, and we'll see why. I'm guessing it's a lot of folks' favorite recipe, but we'll get into that and see what I think. I tend to lean towards the K's, so we'll see how the O does tonight. Adam Hess is here. What's going on, man? Sandeep Chima, nice to see you as always. Joey B in the house. Tommy D is here. OESO, OESK, pretty good, even though they are proof down to 100. Tommy D offering up his personal review. Appreciate that, man. Good evening, gents. It says Top Jimmy. What's going on, Top Jimmy? Love that you're here tonight. Happy hump day, everyone, from Randall Erickson. We got Mark. May the Schwartz be with you. What's going on, Mark? Nice to see you as always. Hope you and Kim are doing well. Warren Smith are here. Let's see. Warren Smith is here. Let's see who else. We got Justin Jenkins is here. We got Dr. Sped. Cheers all. A little Pursuit Double Oak Bourbon in the Glen tonight. Hopefully I'll get the correct. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. It seems that our seal box, our Pursuit United Double Oak Rye pick that we did, that was sent out by Sealbox somewhat early. Usually Sealbox takes some time, but they actually got them out fast. But unfortunately, a bunch of people got the wrong pick. So they are working with our group members to correct their mistake. So Tim Cornet is here. What's going on? Let's see. Mauricio Pastanes is here. The Raconteur flew real quick. Did it already sell? It already is gone already. My goodness gracious. It's like by the time we get the bottles, we barely have enough time to do a review on them. Or at least I don't. Russ Ellis here. Whiskey Nose is here. What's up? Isaac Camacho, Mrs. EJ. What's going on, Melissa? Nice to see you. Nathan Jurgensen, what's up, Donkey Sauce? Nice to see you, man. Larry 3R is here. Greg Ead is here. Hey, y'all, finally making a live stream for the first time in a few weeks. Yeah, man, we miss you, Greg. Nice to be back. Bob Glass is here. Bo's Wine Guy, he's got a blend in Blendageddon tonight. We got Tim Romero here. We got Adam Hinson. Mike Daly is here. Nicholas 311. The new OBSF was pretty solid for 50. Okay. LFG, James Lay, always ready to go. Ed Williams is here. What's going on, Barbecue Sauce? Nice to see you, man. Gotta crack my M&J Pursuit United tonight. Yeah, if any of you guys got the correct bottles, let me know what you think. We got the Bourbon Coach is here. What's going on, Bourbon Coach? We got Mike Daly. Anyone know how to get website? So hats, there's a link in the description for the hats. However, glasses, literally getting that set up as we speak. So I had to, if anybody missed it, I had to get a new glass partner. Luckily, I'll be working with Distillery Products, which is the organization that helps a lot of the distillers in Kentucky. So they have a really wide sweeping range of services and also glasses and different options. And I cannot wait to work with them. So as soon as I have that updated page up, I will put it up sooner than later. So stay tuned for that. So probably within, I'm hoping by the end of the week, maybe early next week. Definitely before, I'm hoping next week on Wednesday, this way I could post it and you guys get all the glasses you want. Nathaniel Essex is here. We got Peter B. What's up, Essex? Nice to see you, man. Peter B. Abrod is here. Sean Ortega. Sydney McMahon is here. Just open up Stack 24B and Taylor. Damn, dude. Sydney is going high proof tonight. Bill Lambros is here. Jeff Perkins. Roger Henson is here, and a bunch more coming in. I'm just going to try to catch up here, guys. Let's see. Killap is here. Didn't realize this was the topic for tonight, but I poured the OBSK 45 minutes ago. Very cool. Yeah, we'll see if your tasting notes match up with mine, what we think. We got Friar Pop is here. Martel, what's going on, Martel? Nice to see you as always, man. Sean Holtgrave says, what's up, dudes? Jamie H says, OESK was our favorite in the lineup. That's where I'm leaning, but we'll see what happens. We got Big Rocco here. We got a legend in the house. K. Luke Whiskey Company is here. What is going on? K. Luke is here. Actually going to be trying the K. Luke Cabernet finish bottle, because that was one of my favorite bottles that they had done last year, or is it technically 2 years ago now? But yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to try the newest one, so I'm gonna dive into that tonight. That was a really good release. So what's up, John Cloud? So let's get into it. It's been a crazy week. So first and foremost, the amount of positive feedback that I've received the last week and a half. One, for the Wild Turkey interview with Bruce Russell. I even saw Bourbon Retriever. Literally just caught this today. Bourbon Retriever made a video about the interview and all the little tidbits and nuggets that Bruce Russell dropped. So, I mean, such an incredible, I mean, we get into, we do interviews, and I do a lot of interviews, and it's not that often that someone will drop that amount of information. And it's one of those things where you do that, you just kind of, I don't know, not that they're untrustworthy, but it just gives you a little more trust in that distillery and what they're providing, and it gets you more excited for the stuff that they have coming up. It's almost like you feel like they're listening to you and what you want. And we've had other great distillers on here that's done the same thing. I mean, Connor O'Driscoll, obviously Brent Elliott from Four Roses dropped a lot of great tidbits, but I think Bruce Russell might have taken the cake with that one. So Rare Breed eventually being non-chill filtered here in the US was probably the biggest reaction that I received. People were completely just geeked up about that. So that makes a lot of sense. The fact that LLME was indeed a special batch. Beacon being, whiskey that he distilled, handled the yeast, everything from soup to nuts will be in Beacon with some other Camp Nelson whiskeys, which will be, I'm really looking forward to that Beacon, and quite possibly the last Master's Keep for a little while. Whiskey No says, happy birthday to him. Yes. She didn't want me to mention it, but I will mention it anyway. My girlfriend, Kim, it's her birthday today. So if everybody could raise a glass to someone I love very much, Kim. So if you're watching, babe, I love you. Happy birthday. Everybody raise a glass to Kim. Of course, Whiskey Nose wasn't going to forget. So Andrew Bozwanga, I think that interview got me back to Wild Turkey. Yeah, amazing interview. Jason C knows how to get the guests sauced. Yeah, basically. So, I mean, what else did he talk about? I mean, so many cool things. Russell's 13 coming back. Obviously, either Russell's 13 now getting spring and fall batch information rather than laser codes, so we know exactly what batch we're getting when people are comparing their favorite batches, which is kind of a welcome sight. Wild Turkey 8-year age-stated bottle being, it looks like the way it sounded, possibly cheaper than the Jimmy 70th anniversary, which was a $55 bottle. So Wild Turkey 8-year 101 could be cheaper than that, because he basically said if you love the price of Jimmy 70th, you're going to love the price of the whiskey of the Wild Turkey 8-year 101. So I'm guessing it's going to be even cheaper, I think, just by the way he was wording that. Again, just kind of reading the tea leaves a little bit. But also going through kind of the surprise for Jimmy. Jimmy had no idea 70th anniversary was coming out. They just kind of did it for him. Everyone thought he was definitely involved in that, but he wasn't. They kind of did that as a surprise, which was kind of a surprise to hear. So just some really, really cool tidbits that he dropped. And then yesterday, I dropped a video about the bourbon boom and gloom, as I'm calling it. I've seen a few videos about this subject, and there's a lot of whiskey tubers and YouTubers that have done some really, I'm not going to say poor reporting or poor handling of it, because I think there have been some degrees and oh my God, I'm thinking I can't. Will and the Grease did a great video on it. I think Will did a fantastic job. His video about the bourbon boom and what's upcoming. Loved his opinions on what was happening in the whiskey world. I think he did a great job. Whiskey Weather, another great kind of a younger channel, also doing a great job. But on top of that, there have been a lot of just really, really bad, you know, doom and gloom types of reporting that's been out there. So I spent a week going through every possible scenario that I could think of what was happening in the whiskey world that I can maybe bring to light and try to distill that down into like 10 minutes of a video. And I've gotten so much great feedback on that video. A lot of people really appreciated it. So I you know, thank you for watching it. And it's got already 14,000 views, almost at 15, I think, something like that. So it's doing really well. And I hope people find it helpful. You know, it's so hard to find out what's going to happen down the line, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom. You know, people's patterns of buying have changed, that people have so much whiskey and who knows what's going to happen. I just think in this time today, it's going to be interesting to see how all these distillers adapt to the current issues that I mentioned in the video. So for anyone that really enjoyed it, appreciate the support there. Jeff Winbush. Jason deserves more respect for the bourbon community. I stand 10 toes down on that. Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate that, man. Donner Pass Whiskey. Cheers, Jason. Everyone was just watching you downturn video. Oh, your downturn video. Yep. Letting Jimmy pick out his own bottles. Gene the 70th is great. Yep. That was a very interesting video. Thank you so much. Agree. Will's was great. Yeah, for sure. Bring back the Jim Beam decanters. Yeah, very happy birthday, Kim. Thanks so much, Randy. Bourbon made it through Prohibition, will make it through the current mild downturn. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that's some of the things that people like forgot when they were making those videos, that bourbon has been through more than we will ever know, and it survived. And I think it's poised to survive even more, and we'll see how it happens. But a market correction was inevitable. It was just too much bourbon going out there, and we'll see which ones stand up and which ones, unfortunately, may be consolidated or don't make it. So in 2017 for bourbon, Affair was amazing. Yep, that was a great video about current state of bourbon. Thank you, Mauricio. Happy birthday, Kim. Yep. Negativity sells, which are more inclined to click a negative headline or a positive one. Yeah, that's true. Negativity does. I totally get it. I mean, I get the reason for it, but that's why, you know, something like that, I felt like, all right, let me make something, because I've talked about it obviously here on live streams the last several weeks, because it's been a pretty big subject about the market and what's happening, and Brown-Forman being in the news constantly, and MGP. So a lot of people were getting concerned, and I felt like, you know what, we've talked about it. I've had a couple people ask me, can you do a dedicated video on it? So I did. I kind of worked on that for about a week before I put it out there, and I'm glad it's going so well. So, and people are finding it helpful. Whiskey and as a Journey, great Bourbon Boom video. Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Getting the super chat started tonight. Love it. If it wasn't for Whiskey 2, I would have lost interest long ago. Yeah, I mean, I could see that for sure. Look at Top Jimmy. Gifted 20 more memberships to the Mash and Journey chat here. Dude, thank you so much for doing that each and every week. Always appreciate seeing you put out new content. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate that. Aged whiskey is bound to have bigger up and down swings due to the fact that corrections are 4 to 7 years from impacting supply. Just average. I would probably agree with that time frame a little bit. 50 to 2,500 craft distilleries in the last decade or so has been right, Miro. Crazy the amount of craft distillers. I know only January, but I know only January, but hard to believe that Bruce Russell interview is not the best of the year on so many levels. Well done, Jason. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So, to your guys' credit, I am trying to get Freddie No on here next. That's the next big one. That's the next white whale right there. Trying to get, if anybody from Jim Beam is watching, I would love to have Freddie No on and talk about just all the things that he's been creating, all the limited editions, everything. So if anybody out there has a Jim Beam contact, please let me know for PR purposes, or usually you got to go through a guy that has a girl that has another guy that has another girl to get to the actual, you know, PR person that I need to talk to in order to get Freddie No or someone like that on. So we'll see. And maybe it's not that complicated. Maybe it's like, yeah, talk to this guy. He'll get him on. So we'll see. Jason's going goat hunting. How about Freddie Johnson? Oh man, I don't know how I could do that. I have really honestly never talked to anyone from Buffalo Trace. The one person I talked to from Buffalo Trace a while back, and that's when I was asking for BTAC samples, And they were like, "Nah, we don't have any. Sorry." I was like, "Okay." So, and I never talked to that person ever again. So yeah. So bring Jackie Zykin. I don't even know where Jackie Zykin is. She's off the grid. Gotta find her. So Freddie No is Ryan Cecil's neighbor. Is he really? I gotta talk to Ryan Cecil. That's crazy. We were just talking in Dusty Dan's live a few weeks ago that beam top guys are like mirages, and then we nominated you to try to get No Love It. Yeah, I think I can try to get him. Eddie Martell, what up, Jason? Shout out from Bama. What's up, Bama? Nice to see you. She is in a hidden barn. She's definitely in a hidden barn. Oh, look, all the hidden barn jokes coming out. Buy a Ouija board and get George T. Stagg on. That'd be sick. I would like if I could go back in time, I would love to get E.H. Taylor and George T. Stagg on here together because they hated each other in many aspects. I don't think a lot of people know that historically. Colonel Taylor and George T. Stagg just sued the shit out of each other constantly, and they hated each other. And a lot of if you read Bourbon Justice, great book from Mark Hara. I'm sorry, not Mark Hara. Is it Mark Hara? Brian Hara. Sorry, Brian Hara. Great book from Brian Hara. He tells that whole story in there. I believe it's in that book. It's hilarious. Like the amount of sniping and just them just going back and forth about, you stole mine, I'm stealing yours. The amount Colonel Taylor was not a great business person. I mean, he did a lot of cool innovations that we still use today, but he was not the best dude to do business with. And George T. Stagg and him, they had quite a falling out. So we'll love to talk to him. I mean, Pappy, and just like Bruce Russell was saying, you get like in their prime, Jimmy Russell and Booker No, like together. I'll just sit here and listen because Bruce was like, "You'll never get a word in." I'll just ask one question and let him rip and see what happens. There'll be so many censors on this channel. It'd be insane. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So let's get into it, guys. We got some bourbon to taste. So this is the original Four Roses single barrel. And if out of all the 10 recipes, the original single barrel was always OBSV. So OBSV is considered to have rye spice, little apricot, pear, cinnamon, toasted oak. Those are really the flavor profiles that Four Roses says you should be pulling from OBSV. So I haven't had this in quite a while. So cheers, guys. Again, happy birthday to Kim. Happy birthday to all you out there. Thanks for all the support. And cheers. Here we go. Truly a GOAT interview would be Julian Van Winkle. Now, that'd be pretty cool, too. Yeah, this is the old bottle, the old style. I haven't opened one of the newer style ones yet, but I could totally see the cinnamon and the pear on this for sure. Maybe just because it's in my head now, but I don't know about pear. I'd probably go towards apple more in the beginning for this one. But very good. Freddie would be so awesome as a guest. Yeah, I think so too. Did you see BT had CYPP out there today for the taking? I did see that. Yeah, I saw that somebody had they took a picture of a sign about CYPB just out there in the world, and pretty crazy to think if that's what it's going to come to. Like, to me, that's when I'll know that the bourbon thing has really changed, is if a bunch of Buffalo Trace stuff is just all of a sudden sitting on the shelf. When I see Stag Jr. on the shelf, I'm sorry, Stag, whatever we call it these days, just sitting on the shelf and no one's buying it, then I might believe that bourbon is really on the decline. But until that happens, no. That shelfer is still my favorite bourbon on the shelf for $50. Yeah, this was my favorite for a long time, so I'm curious to see how these other three are going to do here. Yeah, same. A lot of apple, cinnamon. Definitely get the spice, that quintessential Four Roses spice that it has. By the way, I'm doing a full video of all three of these tomorrow on the channel. I will drop that video, but I am cracking them open tonight so I could kind of get the air into them, pour them out a little bit, and just get quick first impressions. I always like to let some air out of the bottles before I do reviews, just to kind of help just open it up a little bit. So all right, let's get into the new ones because I'm not wasting any time here tonight. Let's go. We also have a couple of other ones we're going to try. We also, like I said, we're going to try the Penelope Estate Collection single barrel that was sent to me, and also the newest Raconteur Rye #3. Is it better than #2? I like 2 better than 1, but is 3 better than 2? We'll find out. So we have OBSF. And I'll throw this on the bottle cam right quickly, guys. Here, let me throw that here. Hope it doesn't mess with the focus too much. I have OESK here. This is OESK and OBSK have been my favorite mash bills for quite a while. So, or I should say, favorite recipes. What's up, Nick Foles? Yeah. So actually, I had a patron. I think Nathaniel Essex got these for me. So thank you, man. These are not in Ohio yet. OESO. We got Tom Shanley here. And this is supposedly the most popular one. So what we got. If you're a Penelope fan, you won't want to miss the new Project X picks coming to store. It's near you. Stupid, good stuff. James Lay. So yeah, a little bit about that. Last week on Thursday, Penelope was here in Columbus, Ohio. I hate calling it that, but I kind of like calling it that. So Penelope was in Ohio here in Danny, the master blender over at Penelope was here. He was over right here at McClellan's on Sawmill, local to me. And I got to try a lot of their Project X barrels. So Project X, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. I don't even know. He didn't tell me anything. Basically, it's their new set of finishes that are to be coming out. So we're looking at now. I don't know which one is if it's going to be a universal. I don't know any of that information. All I know is that the choices were Oloroso Sherry, PX Sherry, and Cognac. So my favorite initially was the PX. And then as the night went on and I was tasting them over and over and kind of going back and forth, the Cognac became my favorite. The Cognac one just had the better mouthfeel, better integrated finish to it. The PX was very sweet, which I think people will lean to, but I think the Cognac was actually the better experience. But I don't know how available all those will be yet, so we'll stay tuned for that. So, all right, let's go to the bottle cam. Here is the first one. This is the OBSF. As you can see, the new pretty bottles. These are the red label bottle. That's the OBSF single barrel. Here's the information here, as you guys can see. There it goes. Again, 100 proof. Gives you the barrel, gives you the tier, all that fun stuff. Okay. Ooh, sorry, that was loud. Here is the OESK. Same thing. Really, the way to, I'm actually really happy that they just put the neck tag loud and proud. You know it's OESK. You know what the recipe is. I think that's very, very helpful. And last but not least, OESO. This one, for whatever reason, seems to be the most popular. This is the one that people either can't find or are trying their hardest to find. I think people just love the fact that it's a rich red fruit, very sweet, light oak, but very fruit forward and very sweet. And I think, again, this plays to people's palates. So, then you have tasting notes here on the back of the bottle that will tell you. There you go. Rich dried fruit, vanilla, brown sugar, delicate oak. And that's what I said. There you go. So it tells you what the notes are on the back. So, all right, let's get back to the main camera. All right, let's taste these. We're going to leave this one here, the original, in the mix, just to check it out, the OBSV. So real quick, as we go through these, OBSF is herbal, bright rye, apple, vanilla, clove, and cocoa. OESK is baking spices, mellow oak, tea leaves, and caramel. OESO, rich red fruit, vanilla, brown sugar, and delicate oak. So those are the flavor profiles of each one. Let's see here. OBSF for the world. It's PX Oloroso Cognac and PX and Cognac double. Oh, I did not try the PX and Cognac double finish, James Lay. That sounds really cool. Okay. Penelope Project sounds like another version of Old Elk. Yeah, but I mean, the flavor profiles were actually really good. So, all right. Let's go to OBSF first. This seems to be the one that the least amount of people are talking about. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, it's got that full rosiness to it, like that little bit of a mint, the spice. The cognac we picked almost had an Amburana profile. The cognac that I got to taste was a little bit more delicate. It was a little bit, but it was probably the best integrated finish of the three that we had. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this one is kind of along the line of the OBSV a little bit. The OBSV though has way more of a vanilla kick to it, whereas this one is a little bit more rye forward. But I'm also picking up, what is that? It's almost like a slight root beer note I'm picking up in here, which is interesting. Those red label bottles would make a good gift bottle. Oh, for sure. Are the corks a different color? I don't know. Is it the lighting? Let's see. No, they're a different color. They're a different color for sure. These two are dark, and this one's a little lighter. So interesting. All right, let's try OBSF. Way more rye driven here, and I think that's that root beer note, almost root beer float ish. Good spice, mint, little kick of a fruit note there, but not very rich at all. I think this really leans into the rye heaviness of that mash bill from Four Roses, and I really feel like you feel that on the palate, especially the flavor profile. The stain on the three corks I varies a bit too. There you go. Yeah, I mean, see, this says delicate rye, mint. Yeah, clove. Definitely clove for sure. Maybe that's kind of like that root beer note I was getting was more of a clove note, which I could totally see. If you guys have ever eaten A1 steak sauce, that heavy clove note, that's basically what it reminds. And that's what I was tasting was A1 steak sauce. I know it sounds weird, but that heavy clove note is what that reminds me of. Interesting. Strain reminds me a lot of Christmas, says Kenneth Rathburn. I could see that with kind of the herbal spices, a little bit of a baking spice there. You could probably make a case for a little bit of like a ginger cinnamon combination to go along with that clove. Extremely herbal forward. I think you do get a little bit of that apple in there too as it opens up, but an interesting flavor profile on that one. Okay. What's the laser codes on the corks? Now we want to know which corks. Do you guys like the dark ones or the light ones? I get mint with F2. Four Roses Selects is still my favorite. Says Ricardo Carroll. Outside of the LE, I'm with you, Ricardo. I love them. What's the laser codes on the? I hear the darker corks are older. don't start rumors, Hooper. Four Leaf Whiskey. Cheers, everyone. Late to the party. Pouring some OESQ Ohio pick. What's up, Stacy? A1 steak sauce. Tell me you ordered your steak well done without telling me you ordered your steak dead. No, the only time I would use A1 steak sauce was actually on. I liked them on my hamburgers growing up. I don't know. I just love them. Not on my steaks. Steaks. I like steaks medium rare, probably more towards rare. I don't know how everyone likes their steaks, but I like rare, medium rare to rare. Yeah, no. A good steak doesn't need any sauce. Although I wouldn't mind like topped with like some like crab, like a filet Oscar where it's like topped with like blue crab or something like that. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that sounds good. Okay. OESK. One of my favorite recipes from the lineup. Let's see what we get here. I too. I like my steak mooing. Okay. Could see that. Talked to Jimmy at the distillery. He signed a couple 70th for me. Said that profile his favorite. Said he wished Wild Turkey would only do that offering. Yeah, Tommy D. I mean, that's pretty much what Bruce alluded to last week. He said if it was up to Jimmy, that's all they would make, and that doesn't surprise me. Oh, garlic butter or blue cheese crumbles. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I agree, Jamie. I don't think I get a lot of the tea notes. I don't know if I'll get it on the palate. But on the nose, I do get a lot of baking spice. This is where kind of the cinnamon allspice combination comes in for me. But I also get a lot of that rich caramel as well. Little vanilla. You can almost, I mean, tea leaves is one thing, but like a black tea, maybe like kind of it it's not a raw tea smell I could get. I feel like this is I could smell like black tea, but it's already brewed. It's already been put in the glass, hot water, and it's, you could kind of smell it a little bit. So it's not, I don't know if that means raw tea leaves or tea leaves that have already been seeped, but to me, this seems like it's a little bit more seeped to me, but I found the new OASK to be fine, a little boring, but fine for the money, says Rarebird. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, less punch than I thought there would be. Usually with an OESK, I'm waiting for like, you know, a punch of spice. I'm not getting a huge punch of spice here. Oh, the spice is kicking in now. This is a nicer balance, I think, of sweet and spice, whereas the OBSF comes in more as a um, definitely more rye driven. So it's a nice contrast between the OBSF and the OESK. OESK, I do think, is actually sweeter than the OBSF. However, still not as sweet as I think maybe some would like it. I've had some amazing OESK picks. I've been able to pick one. The one pick that I did with Four Roses was an OESK, and it was really sweet and had that like super rich spice to it. Rarebird, which of the new is your favorite? Four Roses is my favorite. We were fortunate enough to find OBSF. I wish we would have purchased more than 2 bottles. Oh, wish we would have purchased. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this becomes really the more I sip this, the sweeter it gets, which I like. It does back it up with some spice to it. I do wish it had more heft to it. I don't know. Maybe because I'm so used to drinking OESK as a barrel pick, as a private select, and having it at 100 proof, as much I can appreciate it, but it's almost like I've had this as a private select, but now I want what I'm getting in the private select. Does that make sense? So okay, I like the OESK over the OBSF. Let's go to the one that everyone seems to be talking about, the OESO, and see what we get here. We have 459 in the chat. People watching, guys. Whether you're watching, whether you're ghost watching, and you're not participating in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Really appreciate it. Please hit that like button while you're here. Let's run it up. Always helps the channel, helps people get more recommendations, and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. Okay. There could be something to this. Let me break down the nose here. The reason why I didn't call out the nose in the beginning is because it was a little bit muted, but it's starting to open up a little bit here. As far as the rich red fruit aspect of it, I don't know if it's because I'm coming off the other two, but this definitely seems more fruit forward. I get usually a lot of strawberry in Four Roses normally. Strawberry, strawberry, pear, apple. And while you can make a case for the apple and the pear here, I think you do get a little bit of an injection of some strawberry here. Black Bourbon family, great video today, Master. Oh, thank you so much. Jason and Brandy are here. Black Bourbon family, so glad you're here. Bourbon Engineers here. What's going on? Nice to see you. Let's get that rye while we all really hear Rare Bird. Yeah, I could see. I could definitely see the fruitier flavors. I wouldn't say so. What does this say here? Rich red fruit. To me, this isn't super rich red fruit, but again, it goes back to my experience with private selects. I feel like I've gotten some really big, rich red fruit notes here, and I do like when those rich red fruit notes kind of combine with the spice of Four Roses here. Oh yeah, very sweet strawberry. Not a lot of oak here, and not a lot of spice. This is, I could see why people like this one the most because it's the sweetest. It's probably the most easy on the palate. And yeah, that little hint of a rich fruit note, I think makes the big difference here. As far as which is my favorite, I still love the OESK, but see, OESK has the darkness to it that I like. It's got the spice. Do I miss some of the other factors that the OESK private selects have? Absolutely. Compared to the OESO, see, coming off the OESK, OESO is really easy sipping. Um, and while I think that's probably what people's palates will lean towards, I still think I'm leaning on OESK, to be honest. OESO is good though, but I just wish OESO had a little bit more spice to it. But the front and mid palate is probably the most interesting out of all three. But the spice on the OESK kind of brings it up a notch a bit. And I think I get a little bit more oak and caramel on OESK, which I like. Back to OESO here. Yeah, I mean it is. It's very light. It's very fruit forward. It's sweeter, and I think that's what people like. I totally see why people love the OESO. It just doesn't bring those harsher flavors that probably people, maybe stay a little bit. OESO gives a little too much fruit. I think it depends, Jason, from which one it is. But yeah, I think I'm still on the OESK train. Again, it's missing some layers that I love from the private selects, but OESK I still think is the winner for me. But OESO, you never know. This one could open up and get even more fruit forward. That's why I wanted to open it up now. But I could see why this would be people's favorites because this bottle is so crushable. You could crush the hell out of this bottle if you could find it. This bottle it's fruity, it's sweet. It's probably the easiest sipping out of all three. Even at 100 proof, it actually drinks less than that. Maybe because the other two are more spice driven. But the OESO, I could see why it would be more people's favorites for sure. Yeah, see, I just took that sip. It is getting fruitier, more strawberry, maybe even a hint of raspberry there too. Yeah, OESO that's a dangerous whiskey. This one, OESO is the single barrel that I could probably, if I'm just like, what Four Roses do I want to drink tonight? I don't want to drink a private select. I might reach for the OESO, especially if I don't want to like get, if I just want something really easy sipping, I'm going for that OESO. That thing is getting fruitier and fruitier every time I sip. Every time I sip it. Damn. Now I'll go back to the OBSV. Oh yeah, let me go back to the OBSV. Wow, in comparison, the OBSV actually comes off really flat. So I think the release here overall, again, everyone's gonna like what they like, but overall, I think this was Four Roses' goal. Give people a chance to try their different recipes at even proof points, 100 proof, and see which one they like. And I think that helps them in searches for, especially the private selects that are out there. But this is a really cool way to kind of try them. I dig this. I love this whole idea. I know that the folks that are used to drinking the private selects, this is probably not the way we want to go. We probably want to go more towards the private selects still, but it's a great way to try the recipes that you like at 100 proof, all even. And yeah, for me, I could see why OESO is going to be a lot of folks' favorite. It's good. It is sweet, fruity, very fruit forward, and I'm excited to try these again tomorrow when I do the video and see what they taste like. But right now, OESK, I might do these blind maybe, and then maybe I'll do a triple base with all three of these and see which one I like the most. But all right, Four Roses, and now we're gonna do our own 100 proof LE. Because we're gonna blend all three. It is a Blendageddon night. Throw some OBSV in there too. We'll see how that tastes in a little bit. All right. There we go. I'm going to let that sit. I'm going to let that marinate for a little bit. There you go. All right, let's get into the I'm going to get into this Penelope here before we get into the Raconteur Rye. And then we'll get into that K Luke here before we get into Blendageddon. Also got a bunch of news I need to go through. I totally forgot. There's a lot of news to cover tonight. Now that we're getting into the end of January already, holy shit, it's the end of January already. What is happening? Where does the time go? That's right, the alphabet soup one. So much new stories has hit. Still new. I got some new labels to show you guys from the TTB. So let's start this up, man. I love giving you guys the news, giving you guys the skinny on what's happening in the whiskey world. It's going to start with the Whistle Pig. Whistle Pig is crashing the party in Kentucky with a new bourbon and Louisville location. So Whistle Pig announced on Wednesday a new release of its Snout to Tail bourbon, aged 10 years. The disruptive bourbon spent time in custom finishing barrels with distinctive heads. The brand, known for its rye whiskey, shared that the different heads consisted of Vermont oak with a medium toast and at the snout and a Vermont oak smoked maplewood toast at the tail end. Suggested retail price of $89.99. It will be available at shops, bars, and restaurants across the United States. So according to the brand's website, the whiskey is bottled at a modest 88 proof. The double barrel head aging process is touted as its claim to fame. To commemorate this release, Whistle Pig shared that it will be heading right into Louisville, Kentucky with the opening of a permanent location, the Whistle Pig Piggy Bank, housed in Bank Shot Billiards, which is in historic Bank. The brand's home will offer tastings, a big pig bar, and other ham hijinks, as they say. I'm all for ham hijinks. There you go. I like that. The crown jewel of the space will be the brand's transformation of the Century Bank Vault, where Whistle Pigs will showcase some of its rarest offerings. The new location will be a permanent space for fans of the Vermont distillery to get a taste of this innovative whiskey brand in the ancestral home of America's native spirit. So there you go. Whistle Pig is coming to Louisville, Kentucky with a piggy bank and some, what did they say it was? Ham what? Ham. Ham. Was it ham shenanigans? Other ham hijinks. That's what we're looking forward to. Ham hijinks. I don't even know what to say about that. But congrats to Whistle Pig getting a spot in Louisville. I think that actually helps people taste more of their whiskeys, especially when people talk about their Boss Hog series and some of the more rare expressions that they have. We'll see what happens when they get there. Kind of cool. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Ham hocks. This sounds made up by AI. The bacon bonanza. Yeah, the 88 proof, I'm not crazy about. If you're going to bring something to Louisville, if this is your commemorative release to open up a spot in Louisville, make that 100 proof, man, at least. I mean, you're kind of coinciding with Bottled and Bond, 100 proof. I mean, people say 100 proof and they're like, oh, okay, that sounds good. But 88 on a smoked whiskey like that? I don't know. If I see it, I'll pick it up. I'm curious about this hog to tail thing. I just want to try something different. We'll see how it is. But yeah, there you go. All right, next one up. This one, which is interesting. The new Bomburgers. Michter's is releasing a new Bomburgers. Now, this is the three letters PFG, which stands for Precision Fine Grain. This is the Bomburgers PFG Kentucky Straight Bourbon. So this innovative whiskey begins as a Kentucky Straight Bourbon matured in a new toasted charred American oak barrel. After the initial maturation, the whiskey is placed in a new custom toasted and charred French grain oak barrel to finish. These barrels come from the Tronquoy, Allier, Nevers, and Vosges forest regions in France. It's then filtered before being bottled at 100.2 proof. According to Michter's, it's known for its multi-layered, nuanced flavor profile. Okay. The whiskey is a way for the modern-day Kentucky-based Michter's to play homage to Pennsylvania. Let's see. Where's the... So, this doesn't have, like, all the information I'm looking for, because So PFG is precision fine grain, and basically the idea of this let me see if I could find it here, of this release is to bring it to a point where, oh, hold on, let me zoom into this a little bit. Oh, here we go. It spent some time. Okay, yeah. Proprietary toasted and charred French fine grain oak that was custom toasted to Michter's specs. Michter's shared that its Bomberger's PFG finisher is a custom barrel with wood from, we talked about that. These wooden staves spent 40 months drying outdoors. So seasoning the wood for 40 months. That's a lot longer than a barrel usually seasons out in the weather. When they say seasoning wood, or that's basically them leaving the wood outside. They leave it outside in the elements. It releases all the impurities. It gets all the crap out of it before they make it into a barrel. 40 months is a very long. Usually it's about 12 months to 15 months. I know that Michter's typically will do 18 to 24 months, but this is 40 months. Bomberger's is considered secret. It's considered secret Michter's, though this label is more under the radar than its sibling. It isn't short on its critical acclaim. So let me see here. What was the whole deal about? Okay. This new Bomberger's PFG release continues our efforts to further experiment with Bomberger's and push the boundaries of American whiskey. It's a wonderful expression with great texture. Full flavors resulting from our team's thoughtful exploration of wood science under very specific conditions. So that's basically what PFG is. Now, it sounds gimmicky. I know it does. It does sound gimmicky. But if there is a distillery between Dan McKee and Andrew Wilson that are going to combine to get as nerdy as they can about wood species, using it to their advantage, and creating a different flavor profile, it's going to be Michter's. If anybody else was doing this, I'd be like, yeah, it's probably kind of gimmicky. But Michter's does this type of stuff. This is what they thrive on. Now, whether or not this results in a better flavored bourbon or not, I don't know. But damn, Dave S. coming in with $50 super chat. Rock on, Jason. Dave, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Holy shit. Cheers to you, buddy. Thank you so much. I've always thought that Bomberger's wasn't precise enough. Dave S., man, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying thank you. That's a lot for 50. I appreciate that. That's a GOAT status super chat right there. Thank you so much. Isn't it French oak? Can't recall. It is French oak, Rare Bird. It is French oak, but PFG, put it in my effing glass as whiskey habit. I like that one. But as you kind of talk about it, and Michter's does this. I think if anyone's gonna be really nerdy and geeky about the actual wood grain, it's gonna be Michter's. But a 40-month seasoning process, that's a lot. And it just gets me curious as to what this is gonna do to the whiskey. I definitely want to try it. I love French oak. I love what French oak does to whiskey. So we'll see what this ends up tasting like. I can't wait to get a bottle. So we'll see. And I'm trying to think like, all right, so what are they going to do with the shanks? So, and here's my advice for everybody. When the Bomberger's and Shanks drops in 2025, go to the website and read about it. All right. I tell this to everybody because people buy Shanks and they buy Bomberger's and they expect it, if they liked last year's, that it's going to taste the same this year. Now, obviously, Bomberger's PFG is a different type of marketing spin they're putting on it because of the precision fine grain that they're utilizing. But in years past, they have used combinations of malted grains, different finishing, and you would not know that on anywhere on the bottle. It does not tell you the different grains and the different finishing processes that they're utilizing year to year. So if there's a point where you want to know what's, if you're like thinking, okay, I'm going to buy the Bomberger's, I'm going to buy the Shanks, and you want to know what it's going to taste like, look on the website because the website tells you exactly what they used and what they did to it. It does not tell you on the label. It's a big gripe that I had, and I actually mentioned it to Dan McKee, and he just, I don't know. He was just like, I don't know if we have room to put all that information on the bottle. I mean, I get it, but when you're spending $100, $120 on a bottle and you're kind of looking for it to taste like the one last year, and people do not know that, because Shanks last year was a more of a chocolatey type of experience because of the malted grains they used. The year before that, it was a butterscotch bomb, and I actually liked it better than the bomb burgers. So last year I liked bomb burgers better than Shanks, but the year before it was the other way around. So look on the website and find out what's going on. Bomb burgers I just told you about. We don't know what they're doing to the Shanks yet. That's a funny sentence. We don't know what to do with the Shanks yet, but look on the website and see what they're doing, because it'll tell you before you buy it, because the flavors change, and I tell people this every year. So new label looking for $. It's almost my bedtime, says Boomer. Drink the Penelope already. Okay. Well, I'm going through news, man. Gosh, Penelope single barrel, 10 years old. So again, just kind of a introduction to the Penelope Estate Collection. We had the Founders Reserve, then we had the what was that? The small batch one. These are the single barrels, and then we had the Estate Collection, which was, well, this is the Estate Collection, but we had the one in the pretty green box. So this is the last expression that was sent to me. I'll do this. Yeah, Michter's website will tell you. So let's get into. Ooh, this one smells fantastic. Okay. All right. So this is MGP whiskey, Ross and Squibb. Oh man, absolute caramel brown sugar bomb. Despite the bad reviews, I think I'm going to still crack an OGD 16 on my 30th birthday this weekend. Am I starting off the 30s on the wrong foot? No, I mean, listen, it's a fine little bourbon. I just wish it had more spice. Jason has to do the news. He's the Walter Cronkite of Whiskey Tube. Walter Cronkite. All right. I'll try this real quick. I'll give you your first quick impression here. Okay. That's delicious. 105 proof. Wow. 10-year-old MGP. Now, I know these single barrels were specifically selected by Danny and Mike over at Penelope. That is the perfect blend of old school MGP and new school MGP. So you have a little bit of like that cherry cordial note mixed with that blood orange citrus coming together with this beautiful oak background it has and this really nice velvety finish. That's pretty fantastic. I'm going to have to look up the details for this one. Major plane crash in DC? Are you serious? Oh my God, I didn't even hear about that. Let's see. Can't wait to find that 10-year. The 9 is damn good. Will be top 2 bottles of 2024. Blonde, a few buddies. Yeah, the 9-year was good. Okay. I forgot who was asking about the 16-year, the old granddad. I'm telling you, if you try, you crack it open. If you have some OGD 114, after you try the old granddad 16 on its own, add just a smidge of the 114 to it and watch what happens. Just telling you now. I was hoping you wouldn't like it since I couldn't get a hold of the 10-year. I enjoy the 9-year. This is really good. Yeah, mash bill on this is... Oh my God, I can't even see this shit. All right, flashlight. 60 corn, 4 malts, 36 rye. So it's a 36. I love their 36% rye mash bill. This is good. Non-chill filtered as well. I got to get some readers soon. It's getting there, guys. Yeah, I can't. It's like it's light. It's like gray text on dark blue. You could barely like make it out, and the text is tiny. This is really good. Yep, high rye, man. I love the high rye. Yeah, second sip just kind of takes you into those really good flavors. It's just a really beautiful single barrel. Really great flavors here. Again, this is a nice bridge between old school MGP and new school MGP. I think you get some of that cherry flavor without being medicinal, and then you also get into that that really nice profile where it's the current MGP, where it's a little bit more citrus forward. You definitely get the oak, the 10-year shows, and there's some really, really nice finishing baking spices on the back end of this. This is a very, very well-balanced bourbon. It's not, I don't think it's going to blow anyone away, but this is a really good single barrel expression. May the whiskey gods bless us in 2025. Cheers from Wisconsin. Thank you so much, Nick B. It's an American Airlines flight with a Black Hawk helicopter. What the hell is going on out there? Oh my God. Well, prayers to all those families, and hope everybody. I mean, I'm just getting the information from you guys. I have to see what's going on later. Blinded against the 9. 9 will win every time. Well, I'll do a full review of this too. So, but I'll keep drinking this for now. I'll bring the Raconteur Rye over here, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But real quick, let's go through a couple of other news stories here. Buffalo Trace is releasing their 26th release from its innovative experimental collection. Spirits distilled from grain and hops, an example of the distillery's commitment to honor tradition, embrace change. Below is a brief description. Roll of hops and beer and spirits. So hops are cone-shaped flowers, blah, blah, blah. So wait, what is this? Buffalo Trace began experimenting with non-traditional recipes during and barrel treatments over 2 decades ago. Currently, at the core of the experimental collection, so this is distilled from grain and hops. So this is kind of like a beer-driven whiskey. It's like a beer and whiskey combination. After tasting it with our distillers, we agreed release number 26 embodies our relentless drive for innovation. Merging the worlds of beer and whiskey is especially exciting. We believe beer lovers will appreciate its bold hoppiness while discovering the depth of its whiskey-like quality. The spirit like this, crafted at this scale, is truly rare. Conceived over 10 years ago. Let's see. It's 45% ABV. 375 milliliter bottles, $46.99. Distillery gift shop beginning in February 2025. So there you go. If you guys want to try what Buffalo Trace thinks beer and whiskey tastes like together, go grab one. Eli Manning is releasing his own Knob Creek single barrel. Speaking of Freddie No, there he is with Mr. Eli Manning. I've actually met Eli Manning before. He's actually a really, really cool guy. But they are going to be working on, or actually coming out with his own single barrel just in time for the Super Bowl. So basically, the bourbon is called Eli Manning's 2025 Bold Pick. It's a limited release of Knob Creek single barrel bourbon. 120 proof bourbon, suggested retail price of $60, will be available in New York, Los Angeles, and the home of the 2025 Super Bowl, New Orleans. All 3 locations have significance to the former New York Giants quarterback. So if you live in those 3 cities, you might want to go try to find one. You never know. Real quick, Lux Row Distillers, their sherry finish, this sherry finished expression from that you can only usually get at the distillery, is now being shipped US wide. So big news from Lux Row, their sherry finished release here from their Lux Row Distillers. Their proprietary label is going to be available outside of the distillery. Let me see here. I think I have a couple details on it. Let me see. Oh, that one's that one. Is there more? No, that's all the info I have right now. I know they sent me a quick. They did send me a quick thing on that, but okay. I mean, that's really all you need to know. If you guys like this sherry finished Lux Row, it's going to be available a little bit outside of the distillery now, which is pretty cool. You know, that's I think that is a younger. Now, it's not the 12-year double barrel. Those are a little bit higher end, and those are still available only at the distillery. But they're younger whiskey that they utilize and sherry finish it. That's the one that's going to be outside the distillery. All right, let's go. What I saw on the TTB, a couple big labels here. United Triple Mash Rye, a blend of straight rye whiskey. So this is the next iteration, the next bottling from Ryan and Kenny over at Pursuit United. It looks like we have a blend of the Bardstown Bourbon Rye, Sagamore Spirit Rye, the Low Rye, and the High Rye of Sagamore Spirit. So it looks like that one could be coming out. And then we have the Triple Mash Bourbon, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, Low Rye, and wheated bourbons. So we have that Triple Mash Bourbon. I couldn't get the back of that label, but something to look forward to. Yay, Weller is coming out with an 18-year What did I say in my end of the year? Hopefully we don't get another friggin' Weller from Buffalo Trace. Well, guess what? We got another friggin' Weller from Buffalo Trace. Aged 18 years. Here's the back of the label. This is going to be a wheat whiskey. It's going to be a wheat whiskey. Yeah. So, and so this isn't going to be their straight wheated bourbon. We're looking at an 18-year wheat whiskey at 90 proof. No pricing. This will probably be $5,000 like all their other special releases. Who knows? Maybe it'll be 500. Maybe it'll be 1,000. Who knows? But I know one thing, and I haven't played this in a long time. Yeah, you guys know it's coming. It is. Where is it? Here it is. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna see it. Never gonna find it. May try it in a bar, but I'm never gonna get it. So there you go. It might be for the low price of $1 billion. Hard pass. Yeah. Weller 18. I love how they're just doing like different mash bills, just throwing Weller on it. I mean, people will pay for it. It's rare. It's Buffalo Trace. There's no end in sight to what they could put out, and people will pay crazy money for. The next Old Forester birthday bourbon label is out there. It's another 12-year. Now, this one's, I don't know if that's the real label, but 92 proof. That's concerning if that's going to be the actual proof point. There's no way in hell I would ever pay the markups for an Old Forester birthday bourbon at 92 proof. I'm sorry. I know Old Forester can be a little bit better at a lower proof, but 92 is too low. Make that shit at least 100, 101. 92, if that's the actual proof point, yep, no thanks. And you know what's sad? Guys will line up for that one and pay a shit ton of secondary market to get that bottle, and there's no way. Russell, speaking of Bruce Russell, Russell Reserve dropped their new label. Now, just like he had mentioned last week, Bruce Russell said, we will now see spring, fall, and different declarations for exactly what batch of 13-year you have. So no more hunting bottle codes to find out exactly what batch you have of 13. Now it will be noted with the actual season and year right there on the label. So this one says 117.2 proof. He also did mention that some of these proofs will vary as we go down the line. So we'll see what so 13 coming back. We won't see a 15 this year. He did hint at something special next year in 2026. So we'll hold on to our seats for that. Also, these Knob Creek looks like they're doing some cast strength single barrel ryes along with the bourbons. So these are just kind of the for position only labels that you see. That's what the bottles will look like. I have not heard that they were doing cast strength single barrel rye picks, but here are the bourbon picks as well. So this is what people are getting now as far as cast strength single barrel select bourbons that are probably selected from Jim Beam. And lastly, Old Forester, Prohibition era still proof, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is the next iteration in the 117 series. Look at the proof point on that one, 130 proof. So they're going back to that Prohibition era, that still proof, what was coming off the still. This one will probably be a pretty sought after 117 series when it drops eventually. We don't know when it's going to drop. It says release date of December 2025, which is pretty far off. So I wonder if that's going to release like around, just before the holidays or something like that. But hopefully we don't have to wait too long for that one. But it says December 25 on there. So we might have to wait another 11 months to get that one. We'll see what happens. And that is it. So I'm going to try my Four Roses blend. It's not too bad. I got to say, that is not too bad. Booker's Rye in disguise. I'm guessing that it's not going to be the same rick houses that they find the Bookers. So, or the Booker's Rye. Booker's Rye, I think, was a very special rye for not only the age of the whiskey, but the location of the whiskey. So that's what I've been told. Bourbon and Rye will both be cast ranked starting this quarter. Pick kits are, I'm supposed to be doing, I think, 2 Knob Creek bourbons this year. At least I'm hoping. I think we're going to be doing, 2. So, yeah. Random question. Are there any finished bottled and bond whiskeys out there? Finished ones. Finished bottled and bond whiskeys. It's a good question. I mean, none that I can think off the top of my head. Anybody? Batch 3, let's go, says Frank. Yeah, we're getting in there. All right, let me grab this. I do want to pull up all the information on this one for those of that do not know Raconteur Rye. Yes, the Woodwork Collective in collaboration with Mr. David Jennings. These have been so good. Last year's I thought was incredible. Good enough to make my top Ryes of the year list. Proud to announce the continuation of Raconteur Rye with Batch 3, Ms. Kiss. So Ms. is spelled M-I-Z, and that stands for Mizunara. So just a kiss of Mizunara. I'm guessing this unique small batch barrel proof rye whiskey will be available in limited quantities February 2025. Suggested retail price of $129.99. Now, unlike the first two Indiana distilled releases, Ms. Kiss is a combination of two Kentucky distilled 95.5 rye whiskeys, each aged a minimum of 8 years. Straight rye whiskey aged in new charred oak and straight rye whiskey finished in Mizunara casks that previously held the Brazen, which was last year's, uncut and unfiltered, 118.2 proof. Ms. Kiss offers a genuine straight from the barrel sipping experience. So yeah, again, in partnership with James Simons of the Woodwork Collective, carefully tasted through each barrel. Pick this along with David Jennings. It's pretty cool. So let's dive into this one. I'm excited to try the third iteration. Oh, yeah, that's definitely different. Rare Bird, my vid will be out Friday. Can't wait to see what you think. Thank you again, says Whiskey Knows. Yeah. Nothing about finishing cask would change whether the source whiskey was all from the same season. Yeah, that's true. When it comes to a finished, this is a little bit tight. Let me get some air in here. I have the Raconteur B2. Will the B3 follow the same flavor profile, just ramped up, or is it a new spin? It's a new spin because now we're not working with Indiana whiskey, Indiana rye. This is Kentucky rye. It is 95.5. I'm guessing it's Bardstown rye whiskey. That's just a guess. It doesn't say it is, but I'm guessing that's what it is. Yeah, he says it's Kentucky 95.5 rye. So yeah, and you guys can find out some more info here if you'd like. What's your favorite pick you've ever done, or best whiskey you've ever picked in your opinion? Oh, Bardstown Distilled. There you go. What's your favorite pick you've ever done, or best whiskey you've ever picked in your opinion? Prozac. Oh my god, dude, that's a tough question. I don't know. One of the best experiences I've ever had was at Four Roses. I've had amazing experiences at Maker's Mark. It's hard to put into context because each experience can offer you different things. The people you're there with, the experience you have. Sometimes it's not such a great experience depending on the distillery. Sometimes it's an amazing experience. The best one we've ever picked, that's tough. That's really, I don't know. Probably, honestly, it's probably, I hate to be a homer, but it's probably the first time I ever did a Russell's pick. I mean, the first time I was ever able to go into Wild Turkey, into warehouse, to warehouse A, that rick house was built in the 1800s. So the fact that I'm standing there with Bruce and Eddie at the time, Eddie was there for a quick minute. I only got to talk to him for a quick second, but Bruce did that with us, and just to be in that rick house, that was special to me. So, yeah, I would probably say that. I'm not saying that was it might not be the best pick we've ever done, but it was definitely up there for sure. So, what kicks you got tonight, Jason? I'll definitely show you here. I got some pretty special ones on tonight. I did a pick with Bourbon Junkies at Evernorth. Yeah. Dan and Sean will break out all the barrels for you. It's awesome picking. I actually mentioned them on the video for the Bourbon Boom. So if you guys haven't watched it yet, go check it out. All right, let's see what we get here. The rye is very prevalent in a good way. There's like a really beautiful like cream soda. There is a rich fruit note in here too. Man, the nose is wonderful. Let me give this a try. Wow. This is definitely more rye driven to me. Okay. Man, that is like I just coming off the second one, what I remember, this is a completely different experience to me. What is that flavor I'm picking up? It's literally like toasted rye bread that I'm getting on here. There's some very, very distinct toasted rye bread. And like this is like New York deli toasted rye bread to me that I'm getting on here, which is really different than what I remember. Like Raconteur, like Brazen to me was very, very fruit forward. It had all these different. This is rye bread, like New York style deli rye bread that's been toasted. There's some brown butter on the bread as well. It's sweet, but also very spicy at the same time. Coffee bean. Coffee bean, absolutely. This is getting better. I was a little scared of it at first. I'm not going to lie, David. I was like, what the hell am I tasting right now? Yeah, a little bit of a coffee bean note here. Almost like a burnt chestnut too on the outside, but coffee bean, almost like that burnt chestnut, like you left it a little bit too long in the oven. I do want a pastrami sandwich that's toasted, John Farron, for sure. That's a great question, Sean. Is it more caraway or pumpernickel? I think you could go as far and go caraway here a little bit. Jason, who's winning the bowl, Chiefs or Eagles? It's hard to bet against the Eagles. I'm sorry, hard to bet against the Chiefs. I will say I think the X factor is going to be Saquon. Saquon Barkley is the X factor in the entire game. He's the one that could change the game on a dime. If the Kansas City Chiefs somehow bottle him up, Chiefs are winning the game. If Saquon finds a way to run rampant, Eagles got a shot, man. It's quite the change up. Trust me, I'm nervous watching, but man, I love that Kentucky 95.5. Yeah, this is rye bread, brown butter, coffee bean. I can make a case a little bit of chocolate here too, a little bitter chocolate on the back end of it too. This is a complete flip from Brazen, which is a more of a fruit forward experience. I don't know which one I like more because they're both so different. Wow. Little bit of an oak funk on the back end too. Makes this a really interesting rye whiskey. This is a different animal. I think if you're a rye whiskey enthusiast, David, are these all gone already? I mean, I know it's not February. Did these go on sale yet? I'm just curious. I know these usually drop on Bourbon Outfitter. Somebody in the chat said that they're all gone. Are they gone already? Depends on the refs. See, everyone's giving the refs. Everyone's giving the refs a hard time. Haven't dropped yet. Okay, haven't dropped yet. So this, I imagine, will drop on Bourbon Outfitter in February at some point. So keep an eye on that. 2/7/25 at noon. There you go. So Rare Bird 101, 2/7/25 at noon. Guys, this is a rye drinker's rye right here. There isn't any way around it. It's rye bread forward. I'm telling you, when you taste it, you're going to taste exactly what I'm talking about. This is caraway, seed, maybe a little pumpernickel too, but toasted, brown butter, coffee bean, a little bit of chocolate, and it's got this beautiful rye funk on the back end. And you know what? As this is opening up too a little bit, David, I think the Mizunara is starting to come in. I'm starting to get a little bit of that sandalwood note that you get from Mizunara a little bit. I'm definitely not getting those really rich fruit flavors I was getting on the Brazen, but this is just kind of a different animal. And I kind of like that. It's kind of like a nice evolution of what this rye whiskey is doing. You guys are kind of doing different things with it. Yeah, it is all rye, man. This is a rye drinker's rye. If you like, but I will say, if any of you are scared that it's going to have like, there's no dill, there's no like pickle. I know some people love that. That's not in this bottle. But man, the breadiness in this and those kind of mixed with those sweet flavors. Yeah, only one Mizunara cask in that blend. Yeah, it's very slight. There's a little bit of like a sandalwood note on the very back end of that one. From that Mizunara cask, I think. Maybe a slight hint of a fruit flavor, but man, the rye breadiness and just I want to drink this with a pastrami sandwich from Katz's Deli right now. This would be a perfect pairing. Usually I like cream soda, but this could work. I'll be doing a full review of this too, hopefully before it drops. I really want to see how this opens up. I want to go back to it. Yeah, zero dill or vinegar at all. Yeah, completely agree, Marty. F your pickle. One pickle. I'm digging this one. This is different. I like it. It's a nice evolution from what Raconteur Rye originally was. But if you're expecting a sweeter rye whiskey, I don't think this is really it. It's got some sweet to it, but this is very bready, coffee bean, almost a little bitter to a point. But I'm here for it. I like it. I'm curious to see how this opens up if it gets even sweeter. But another great rye whiskey, David. I think you guys are doing really cool stuff with this brand. So glad you're liking it. It really opens up with time. Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to trying that thing again. So we'll see how it goes. It's good, but you have to really like those rye flavors. If you want a sweet rye, even though it is a Kentucky distilled rye, that's not that type of flavors that you're getting in there, to me at least. But I do think you do get a kiss of that right at the end. That little bit of a fruit forward, almost sandalwood note from the Mizunara, which is kind of nice. But all right. Yep. Dude, I want some pastrami right now. I also vote for 5. I feel like I've done 5 deli sandwiches. You know, my favorite color is gabagool. It's my favorite color. My favorite color is prosciutto. I mean, pastrami. I love when I go to Katz's Deli, man. I want the pastrami corned beef Reuben combo with a Doc Brown's cream soda. That's my go-to. It's the best sandwich on earth. I don't care what anybody says. It really is. Jason Crew with 3 is closer to 1, but still very different. I would agree with that, Rare Bird. It's not the fruit bomb to me that 2 was. I mean, 2 wasn't a fruit bomb, and it definitely had a sweeter profile to it. I do think that 3 is closer to 1, but 3 is still very different to me than the other ones. When I do the video, I'll compare it to the other 2. We'll see what goes. My favorite is the smoked meat at Schwartz's in Montreal. Oh, Montreal. Schwartz's Deli. I've heard about that one with black cherry soda. Good call out. All right, guys, it's 10:20. Holy crap, time's flying tonight. It is time for Blendageddon, the last round of the first, the outside brackets. It's week 6. Let's go. We have 7 blends that we are tasting tonight. Let's see who wins out. My palate is we're still ready, man. It's fresh. Let's go. All right, competitors, we are all set to go. Let's take a look at tonight's bracket. Who is actually going head to head tonight, as you saw in the introduction. But I do have a close up of the bracket, I believe, somewhere. Yep, here we go. We have Bo's Wine Guy with his blend called Bottoms Up. We have JD Fridges with his double homicide blend. Whiskey Problems. We have 99 Problems, but I don't think I could fit the whole title. I think but Whiskey Ain't One, I think, is the rest of it. Matthew Smith with Shelf Stable. Aaron G with Solidarity. Good job, AA Ron. I like that one. And Bourbon Jerk with F with Jerk Day. And Justin Mills with another one of my favorite blend names, Sex Panther. That's right. 60% of the time, it works every time. There you go. I got to get that clip here. The only Ron, I have a couple Ron Burgundy clips. I have this one.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
And I have this one.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
So yeah, we those are the competitors tonight. 7 blends. Yeah, it's FAFO would be a good 7 blends. Damn. Yeah. So here's the thing. These blends are either have an advantage or a disadvantage because these blends have been sitting the longest. They have been sitting in their little vials or sample jars for quite a while. So they either got real bad or they got real good, or they got real mid. We'll see. All right, let's drop a few. This is kind of my favorite time too, guys. This is when I kind of get to do a little, Q&A with you guys. You can ask some questions, but let me throw on a little bit of music here. It was like a little background music, and what do we got here? We'll go with this one. Yeah, we'll put that volume right there at 8, and we're good to go. Okay. Comments going. Let me throw this back up here. I think we should be set. All right. Good luck to all the blenders. Couldn't get a judge tonight. Just too many samples and too little time. So here we go. But next week, when the Sweet 6 starts, the Sweet 16, we will have a pretty amazing judge, so stay tuned for that. Here we go. Yeah, just could not land a judge for tonight for some reason, so I'm doing it solo. So all the blenders, you just have to get through me tonight, guys. Someone's getting girl wasted tonight, says you. No, I'm all right. All right, first blend here. Good luck, everyone. Again, if you guys have any questions you want me to ask in the chat, please feel free. You can tag me, super chat me, and I'll get to your question as much as I can. Oh, crap. I didn't do the K-Luke sample yet. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I will get to... You know what, John? I might just do a dedicated review to that one. I'll get to that, man. Sorry. Just time's going too fast. This is not the Sweet 12. Not yet. That'll start next week. This is the last bracket on the right side of the bracket. So... This is Darrell and Stu's side of the bracket. That's right. That's right, Jeff. Oh, yeah. Really quick. I know somebody asked about what shoes I'm wearing, and I'm really excited about these because these are sneakers that I wanted when I was a kid, but can never get them. Oh, man, they're on tight. Okay. So you guys know my favorite football player in the world was Deion Sanders. So at the time when he was playing for both the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Braves, he was a 2-star athlete. He came out with this sneaker called Diamond Turf. So Diamond Turf makes sense. He played on the diamond and he played on the turf for football. And this is such a 1990s sneaker throwback. I mean, people either love it or hate it. I love this damn sneaker. I finally am able to own this. I was not able to get this growing up. Here they are. The Deion Sanders Diamond Turfs. Look how 90s these are. They're glorious. Then my favorite part is right on the tongue is the Diamond Turf logo. You know what? I'll put this on the cam here. You see the Diamond Turf logo there? The 24 and the 21. Those are his 2 numbers. He played on Atlanta and for the Braves and the Falcons. I love that logo. It's so cool. Diamond turf. Yeah, these are so 80s. So, and apparently this part, which is gold, you can't really see it in the lighting, but it's, oh, there you go. It's more of a gold color. That apparently is for all the gold he wore. So, yeah, I just got these today, and I am freaking out. I love these damn shoes. So I'm breaking them in tonight a little bit. All right, let's get back to the blends here. I don't get the shoe collecting stuff. Yeah, I mean, I get it. A lot of people collect a lot of weird shit, man. Shoes, whiskey, God knows what else. Jason, why don't you have a sneaker channel? Because I just don't have the history, and I don't have enough time to do another channel. I would love to do one. It's kind of a second passion, but man, it's a lot. What would you pay for that 13 colony 15 year that made your top 10? Considering the retail price was what, 150, 200 for that bottle ish? I'd probably go up to high point 250 to 300 for that one. I wouldn't pay more than that though. All right, so first one, the nose here is, it's very balanced. It's a little light. Ton of citrus. Some good caramel here. Jason, other than Tommy's batch, what's another Booker's batch that you like? Got my Tommy's batch today, and it's pretty dang delicious. Bourbon Coach, look for Sip a While. Sip a While is probably another one of my favorites of all time, outside of Country Ham. Sip a While is delicious, and so is Front Porch Batch. Sip a While and Front Porch Batch would probably be the two I would recommend. Sip a While for sure. All right, let's give this one a try. This one smells a little turkey-ish, I'm going to say. It's got that citrus, a little bit of dark fruit. Let's see what we got. Love the front and mid palate of this one. Back of the palate gets a little weird. I'm just not sure if it's like whatever the blend happened there. Had the original Air Jordans in 7th grade years ago. They were awesome. Yep. Coworker had on the Nike Pendleton collab sneakers from 2016. Wow, that's crazy. I just got, Backyard Barbecue I remember being pretty good. Charlie's batch I did not like, Casey. I was not a fan of that one. I was like, whoever Charlie is, fire him. Sorry, I'm only kidding. Sip a While is delicious, though. This honestly tastes like straight up wild turkey. I mean, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of like, it tastes like a good Russell's pick, which isn't a bad thing, but that's what it tastes like. All right, that one's pretty good. Good start. Let's go to the second one here. I liked Charlie's batch. I don't remember. Oh, I'm thinking about the Apprentice batch. I'm thinking of the Apprentice batch I hated. That was the one. I was like, whoever the Apprentice is, time to get a new Apprentice. That's what it was. Charlie's batch I didn't mind. It was the Apprentice batch I didn't like. Oh, 2 is a little bit of an upgrade here. 2, we get into... Ooh, okay. Oh, man, 2 is candy. Candy on the nose. Bo over Dion for sure. Was such a Bo fan back in the day. Yeah, Bo Jackson. Too bad he didn't play too long, man. That guy was a freak. He's a freak athlete. But as far as like two-way players go, yeah, Bo was ridiculous. Dion just, had a little bit more longevity, but it would have been pretty cool to see those guys like go head to head in some games, but that never happened. Ooh, that is chocolate covered. What's that fruit I'm picking up? It's not apple. It's not pear. But there was a nice, like, rich fruit and chocolate combination in the second one. Yeah, I would say like chocolate covered cherry, but it's not a very bright. It's not a dark cherry. It's a little bit of a brighter cherry. But that is definitely, I like that over the first one a little bit, I think. Tecmo Bowl. Yeah, dude, Tecmo Bowl was. Oh my god! Can we do like top 5 Super Nintendo games? Can we do that tonight? That'll be fun. Top 5 Super Nintendo games growing up. I think that's gonna be my top 5 tonight. Dude, I love Tecmo Bowl so much. That one would be up there. Tecmo Bowl. Oh man, does that bring back memories? I met Dion when I was like 10. He was an a-hole, but cool to meet him. I actually heard he's kind of an a-hole in person. But yeah. I mean, sometimes they say never meet your heroes, but Super Dodgeball. Oh, Super Dodgeball. Dude, the original ice hockey on regular Nintendo, the 8-bit Nintendo, was one of the best games ever. You choose the 3 people, the 3 guys on your team. You got the fat one, the medium one, and the skinny one. Ice hockey was a really fun game to play, man. All right, so this one actually now we're getting into kind of a maltier experience. Oh, Blades of Steel. I remember that one. Remember you turn on that game? Blades of Steel. It would like kind of give you that whole thing. Oh, we're going down a rabbit hole tonight, guys. In the chat, light it up. Here we go. Favorite Nintendo game of all time. I mean, you had Zelda, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Tecmo Bowl, Ready, Down, hut, hut, hut. Yeah, it just kept going. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is definitely my top 5. I loved Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. All right, so a little bit of more of a maltiness here in the third one. It's not super sweet. It's not super rye forward. NBA Jam, I don't think they had for the Nintendo, the NES, like the 8-bit. I don't think it came out. Excite Bike was one of them for sure. Paperboy. Oh. So the third one's a little flat, unfortunately. It's not going in any one direction that's like leading me to like a wow factor. It's a little bit flat. Ooh, that sip was better. Good spice, good sweet. This is very similar to 1, actually. 2 right now has been the standout, but it's similar to 1 in like the same flavor. Again, not real. I don't mean in the sense that it tastes like, because I thought 1 was a little bit more close to turkey. I don't really think it's turkey, but it's giving me kind of like that even keel, really just good flavors. Nothing wowing me right now on number 3. Zelda, yeah, the first Zelda game. I mean, the gold cartridge. Who had the gold cartridge? That shit had me locked in, man. This has a nice like punch of caramel apple in it, which is really good. Okay. Caramel apple and a lot of vanilla on the finish. That one is actually sneakily getting better. Okay. Number 3. Doing your thing. I like it. Bionic Command. DuckTales was that? Yeah, DuckTales was a fun game. Yeah, first Super Mario Brothers. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I can't remember. Was Super Mario 2 still on the NES? I think it was. All right, let's go to 4. Oh, Duck Hunt did go crazy. Duck Hunt was fun, man. That was a fun game. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4, we're getting some nice rye spice in this one. Oh, Castlevania. 2 and 3 were NES. Mega Man. Mega Man 2 would probably be a top 5 for me. Mega Man 2, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Tecmo Bowl would be up there. What would be my number 1, though? My number 1 favorite game on NES? That's tough. There's a lot of good ones. Funny thing is, I didn't own an NES. I actually owned Sega Master System. Nobody had Sega Master System. I just wanted it to be different because all my friends had Nintendos. And I was like, well, They all have Nintendos. I could just go to their house and play it. I want Sega. This way they'll come to my house and play Sega Master System. Sega Master System had some gem games in there too. So didn't really get the traction that that Nintendo did until Sega Genesis came in and kind of took over. So, but Sega Genesis I got, and that was probably my favorite. That system, even more than Nintendo, probably brings back the most memories for me. Did they have a Matt for track and field game? I remember that thing. How about 5 worst NES games? So many games were impossible to beat. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was impossible. That was a hard game. Yeah, I love Genesis. Who had the Sega CD? I didn't have that. The last Sega system I got was Dreamcast. You remember Sega Dreamcast? I had that system. Ooh, 4 is good. 4 gives you like a vanilla peanut butter. It's almost like a weeded bourbon vibe in 4. It's light, yet it's got some really good heft to it. This one, 4 might have the best texture so far, which is something I look for in a blend. Not just flavor, but if it has a really good texture, you have something. 4 has a probably the best texture I've had tonight so far. It's got this peanut buttery goodness to it that I really like. Yeah, we're getting nerdy with this one. I can make a case for a little bit of like a raisin note in there too. 4 is interesting. 4 and 2 are really nice. Okay. Okay, I like 4 a lot. 4's got something. 4's got something going on here. Yeah. It's like this vanilla peanut butter. That's good. Yeah. 4's coming in hot. I like it. I had Ping from Radio. Oh, Ping from Radio Shack. Pong. Sorry. Didn't Dreamcast have that crazy? Yeah. Dreamcast had Crazy Taxi. It had Genesis had like the F-Zero. Remember the F-Zero was like that futuristic racing game? I love that game. My favorite game that hooked me into role-playing games was Phantasy Star. If you guys remember those nerdy-ass games, Phantasy Star on Sega. Phantasy Star 1, I kind of learned on the Sega Master System. And then once Genesis came out, they had Phantasy Star 2, which I was hooked on. I played that game over and I beat it. Then I played again, do different stuff, then play it again. I love Phantasy Star 2. That like sent me down the rabbit hole for role-playing games. Final Fantasy, like all those types of games. But Phantasy Star for me kind of started all that. But as far as like some of the other games, oh man, Robotron, Defender, and Missile Command. Road Rage on Genesis. Great call out, KenDad23. Yes, Star Fox, Henry Turner. Holy crap, Star Fox. I remember that. Remember like Toe Jam and Earl on Sega? Toe Jam and Earl. That was another crazy one. All right, let's go to 5 here. Randall Erickson with an update. Collision of the plane and helicopter shown on TV. Doesn't look good. Praying for, oh God. When you say plane, are you talking like a 737? Is it a smaller plane, a commercial jet? What are we looking at here? Dance Jam. Best MMORPG was Star Wars Galaxies. Oh, yeah. Afterburner. Oh, Afterburner. I was really good at Afterburner, actually. No. An Embraer-sized commuter jet. Okay. Small commercial jet. Donald Pusatary. Hi, don't forget Forgotten Worlds and Altered Beast. Donald, nice to see you, buddy. Yes, Altered Beast. This is the thing. You get every time you fought a whatchamacallit, you got to the end and you had to fight the boss in Altered Beast. You know, say, "Welcome to your doom." I can remember that like it was yesterday. 60 people on board. Oh Jesus. Space Harrier, great game as well. Yes, I remember that. Nicholas. Oh my God, the Bill Clinton hack. Shinobi. Streets of Rage on Genesis was a very, very underrated fighting game. The music from Streets of Rage was the best part of it. I used to like play that soundtrack. It's kind of weird when you think about it, but I love the soundtrack to that game. Five went bad. Five got funky. Too funky. Five went into that oaky, mossy. How did I describe it? I feel like I discovered how to describe this note. Like mothball, wet oak, varnishy type of note. That's what happened to five. Five, unfortunately, that's one of those blends that did not benefit from sitting from a long time. That one got weird, unfortunately. All right, moving on to 6. That was easy. Oh, 6. 6 is really good. Jason and my son love video games music. It's weird as fuck. Jason and my son love video games music. It's weird. It is weird, right? No, is 5 a sample that turned bad? No, is a... Yeah, this one right here just didn't. This one got something happened to that one. Condolences to Glass 5, but that's an easy out, unfortunately. Number 6 isn't bad, but again, I'm coming off 5, so I'm gonna need another sip of that one. And UN, oh yeah, UN Squadron. Damn, Donald, you got a good memory. I do remember that game. Sounds like Jason had ADHD as a kid. Glad that he turned out okay. I mean, who knows? I might have. That's when ADHD wasn't really a thing, I guess. Double Dribble on Nintendo. Yeah, and when it started up, you'd put it in, and he'd go. I know, like the title screen would say Double Dribble, but it sounded like you went Rubble Ribble. He put it in and go Rubble Ribble. I'm like, is that? Yeah, you would try to do that slam, and it was like the silver guy, like trying to do the slam dunk. That game was cool. Very much like, and Blades of Steel. The best part of that game was like all of a sudden, like you get into a fight, and it was like the two guys. That was a really cool part of that game. But the best NHL game is NHL 90. Was it 94? 95, 96? Wait, what was the 93? 92? Like I can't remember the year. I think it was 94, NHL 94. That was the game. Yes, NHL 94. That was the game on Sega Genesis. I played that shit constantly. And I remember my team. I was always Vancouver. I was Vancouver Canucks with Pavel Bure, who had like a speed rating of like 99, and I would fly around the ice with him and do all the goals until somebody would check me and lay me out, and like remember like the blood would spill from the guy's head, and then they took that out in the next iterations. I was like, man, why'd you take that out? I remember when that happened. Six has like a smoky vibe to it, which is interesting. Have not come across this in tonight's blind. This is a little bit of a smoky aspect to this whiskey. Yeah, Bure was a beast. Play the shit out of that one. Damn you, Jason. Damn you, says Darren Clary. What? Royal Rumble was fun on Sega. Darren Clary. What do you mean? Why are you damning me, Darren? Yeah, NHL 94. Best game I added the one-timer. Yep. Yo, Noid for NES. Joe Montana Sports Talk. Oh, I had that game, Joe Montana Sports Talk Football. Final Fantasy VII. I swore I'd never waste another hour reading virtual birds. That's so true. Oh, man. Blitz the League was a crazy game. Yeah, but the old college football, NHL hockey games are the best. Yeah, the college football games are a lot of fun, too. I'm kind of digging this. There's a little bit of a smokiness to it, which is different. It's like a smoked chocolate note in here. A little bit of cayenne pepper. There's a little spice kick to this one as well. Yeah, for sure. Just messing with you. I was a big Rangers fan who played the Canucks in the stand. Oh yeah, yeah. When dude, Darren, I was a Rangers fan too. Rangers won in '94, but Pavel Bure, yeah, he was no joke in that game. All right, last one here. We'll start narrowing this down. Candace Cameron married to Pavel's brother. He played hockey. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that's right, Candace Cameron. Jude. So I don't know if anybody out there is from Long Island that's watching, but I grew up on Long Island. There was a video game haven in Smithtown, New York, Smithtown, Long Island. It was called Spaceplex. Does anybody watching remember that place? This place was a kid's wet dream. I'm telling you. You go in the parking lot and you walk in and it's a tunnel with like fog and smoke. And then you walk through the fog and smoke, then you get into Spaceplex and it's every damn video game you could think of. That place was like heaven for a kid into video games. And it was the only place that had like a giant sit-down version of Street Fighter 2. So there was like this giant, I mean, at the time, it must have been like a 40-inch screen. And it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe 6 feet away. And then there's, so you have the giant screen, and then it's situated across from this like seat booth with all the controls. So you would sit down next to the person you're playing, and you would, do all your controls, and then you're looking at this 40-inch screen that's like 5 or 6 feet away. That place was incredible. Yeah, I was all about it. What is the game in Swingers? I think they're playing NHL in Swingers, I think that's what they play in Swingers. So 7 is getting close to what 5 was, but not quite there. I think 7 is hanging on, but 7's pretty good. Seven almost has like a dusty bourbon funk to it, which I like. Okay, so there are a few here I could eliminate right away. I'm going to eliminate 5, 2, 3, 4. I'm not even going to taste that again because it's just 5 just went off the rails. Okay, I like 2 a lot. 3 and 1, I was kind of in between. Deadhead just said, what are we doing? Well, we're going through the last bracket of Blendageddon, and also we're talking about old school video games. We're getting as nerdy. We're getting nerdy. Really nerdy tonight. Dude, 1's really good. We go to 2. I might like 1 more than 2 now, going back to it. Well, 2 is a better finish. But 1 has a better sweetness to it, which is kind of nice. I just visited Galloping Ghost, biggest arcade in America, has over 1,000 arcades. It's only a few minutes away from me near Chicago. Oh, damn, Mauricio. I gotta check that place out. When I was in Vegas, I went to the arcade museum. Not arcade museum, I'm sorry, the pinball museum. That place was pretty cool. I got to play the Rush arcade game. Just freaking blaring Rush music. At some point, I'm going to own that thing. I'm going to play it downstairs. I'm never going to leave my basement. It's going to be bad. Kim's going to be like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm playing my Rush pinball game. Metroid. Oh, God, I'm hiccuping here. Metroid might be my number 1 game on Nintendo. I love Metroid so much. Jason, you still play video games? If so, what console? I have an Xbox One. I haven't really upgraded since then. I have an Xbox One. I don't really play a lot. I just don't have the time. When I do play, I still love the Assassin's Creed games. Those are my favorite to mess around with. I like playing Madden. Obviously, love playing Madden as well. I got pretty good at Madden. So any Batman game that comes out, I'm playing Batman. Batman games I love. Those are really kind of the main ones I play. I did play Halo here and there. I avoid playing online Halo because the kids that play Halo I think they're freaking robots. Those kids are ridiculous. They know every trick and trend, and they kill you. Like as soon as you respawn, you're dead. Like I don't know how they do it. I get very mad, and I start like cursing them out. So I can't play those online like Halo. Those kids are freaking robots. I don't know. It's like AI. Like I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're incredible. Oh, Guitar Hero. Definitely like our Guitar Hero for sure. You know what? 3 is really good. The more I go back to 3, again, that's that caramel apple vanilla bomb on 3. That's so good. 3 might be moving on here. 3 is really nice. I think 3's getting through. 3's really good. It doesn't have the biggest finish, but man, the front, the palette, and the texture of 3 is really nice. All right, let's go to 4. Again, 4 had a little smokiness to it. Rainbow Six, Duke Nukem. Donald, man, I remember playing Duke Nukem with my buddy online but literally just playing on the computer, not so much on a console. I get mad. I start telling kids like you're adopted, your parents don't love you. Like it's terrible. The shit I say to these kids. I got into what game was that? Gears of War. I was playing Gears of War online. I was actually getting pretty good at that game. And I remember people were upset because I was like sawing people in half rather than shooting them, and they started like messaging me and stuff. I was getting real salty with those kids. Yeah, 4's falling flat. 5 is already gone. 4 just doesn't have enough going on. So I'm going to take 4 out. 6. 6 was the smoky one. This is smoked chocolate. You should have ended up in a... You should have... Quake 3. Oh, Quake 3. Sawing people in half. Yeah, Jason, we're talking video games. No time for your whiskey talk. I know. Everyone's lighting up the chat with the video game talk. It's crazy. This is... but I love this. This is cool. I like this one a lot. It's different. It's interesting. It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Duke Nukem. I like to say you're a great disappointment to your mother and I. Yeah, 7's flat. 7's out. It's between these 4. Which 2 are making it through? I was nervous about this blind because there's 7. And I'm like, man, if there are like 3 or 4 bangers in here, I'm going to have to maybe put an extra one through. But I don't know if we're going to do that. I may allow the Sweet 6. I may put a fifth blend to the finals. We'll see how that goes. But these are my top 4 right now. And it's time to pick a winner here. Every time I go back to 1, it gets better. Oh, Doom. Doom was a good one. Also, one of my favorite games on the later consoles was I'm gonna forget the name of it. BioShock. BioShock. Unbelievably good game. Two has a little bit of like a chocolatey funk to it as well. 1 and 2 are Oh yeah, Skyrim, stealth archer, but yeah, Skyrim. Really, Red Dead Revolver, great game, Bourbon Jerk. Red Dead, yep, those were great games as well. See, this is the problem. All four of these are really close. There's just, unfortunately, in previous blinds, we've gotten some really good standout blends. None of these are really standing out like, holy crap, like this is definitely making it through. They're all kind of even keel. And I'm wondering if that's because they've been sitting so long, or I don't know. I gotta say, I think 1 and 2 are still my favorites. These two are really interesting, but 1 and 2 is offering better texture, better balance, just better blends. One is great. I'm definitely putting 1 through, I think. 1 has the flavors that I love. Great finish. Good sweetness, good balance. 1 really works. 2, I was right there with it. 2 gives me everything 1 has, with like this extra layer of like chocolate and a hint of smoke to it. This is probably the first round that we've seen where I'm getting a lot of smoky flavors in multiple whiskeys here. This one has the most smoke, but it's actually got the least amount of finish, unfortunately. And the last one here, it just falls flat. These are the 2 going through right here. These are them. So these 2 glasses are making it through to the Sweet 16 or the Sweet 6, the Sweet 12. What do we call that? The Sexy 6? The 12. So these 2 are making it through. So these are the ones that were eliminated, and I have their blends right here. Let's find out who these blends belong to, who got ousted. Let's see what we got. All right. All the blends are in my hand. This one, good blend, little hint of like raspberry, but it just kind of goes flat pretty quick. Let's see who this one belongs to. This is letter G. Letter G belongs to, here are the results. Letter G belongs to Mr. Whiskey Problems. I got 99 problems, but a whiskey ain't one. So Whiskey Problems, that is your blend. Let's find out what was in your blend. Here we go. Yeah, this year's Blendageddon is tough. If you win this year's Blendageddon, you earned it. You really did. All right, let's see what was in his blend. Oh, wow, he had a lot of components here. He had ECBP, C922, Calumet Farm, 16-year, 4-gate, Kelvin Collab 6, Eagle Rare, Sagamore 8-year rye, Wild Turkey 101 12-year, Old Forester 1920, and Old Forester 1910. That's a hell of a blend right there. I don't know where that smokiness is coming from, but it's a really interesting blend. Unfortunately, just the finish kind of dies off really quick. So that's what happened with that one. But Whiskey Problems, hell of a blend, buddy. Thank you so much for entering. Better luck next year. All right, let's go to this one. I think that was the real funky one. That one belongs to, that's letter B, belongs to Aaron with Solidarity. Aaron, I'm not really sure what happened with your blend, but something happened. Someone to get this man a Pepsid. I always take a Prilosec before the night starts. What do we have in here? Stag 23B, Barrel King Batch 90 Cherry Cola, and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923. What? What? Come on. How does that not work? Dude, that's crazy. If you showed me that blend on paper, like now, I would say, hell yeah, do that blend. But it actually, like where did the proof go? It just doesn't hit. That's nuts to me. This is what blending does. This is the challenge. All right, so this is a smoky one. This is letter F. Letter F goes to... Oh, man. I'm so sorry, Tom. Bourbon Jerk. The name of his blend is Fuck with Jerk Day by the Bourbon Jerk Blendageddon in 2024. Where's that smokiness coming from? Let's see what we got. Oh, man, there's stickers coming out. Bourbon Jerk. Dude, look at this. The marketing. Love it, man. Fuck with Jerk Day. 2XO Phoenix Blend. 2XO Innkeepers Blend. Wild Turkey Rare Breed. JT Melick High Proof. Calumet 16. New Rip. The Balboa Rye. I think the 2XOs actually took over. That double oak that it's on there, it kind of took over, Tom. So interesting. Wild Turkey Rare Breed, would never guess that's in that blend. Couldn't really taste it. But the 2XO, the Phoenix and the Innkeepers, that makes sense for that smokiness I'm getting on the back end of that one. For sure. All right. We're getting down to it. Which one was this one? This one it's an okay blend. It just falls a little flat. This is letter E. Letter E is, oh man, my buddy JD. JD Fritches with his double homicide blend. Let's see what's in here. Double homicide blend is, it's called the Bullet That Killed Evan and Elijah. Evan Williams single barrel vintage 86 proof. Elijah Craig toasted barrel 94 proof and Bullet barrel strength 120 proof. I think the lack of proof kind of killed this one, unfortunately. Standing up to the other ones. Really interesting blend. It works. It tastes good. It just, the finish just dies off, unfortunately. So that's really what happened with that one. Wow, we're down to the last. Man, what's left here? Bo's Wine Guy with Bottoms Up. Justin Mills with Sex Panther. And Matthew Smith with Shelf Stable. Let's see who gets eliminated here. Letter C. Letter C is... I'm curious about this one. This one was also kind of smoky. This one belongs to Bo's Wine Guy. Bo's Wine Guy American Blend. Let's see what we got here, buddy. Oh, man, he taped this up and everything. Bo's Wine Guy. This, oh, wow, it's all Old Forester. Single barrel rye, barrel strength. Old Forester 1910 and Old Forester 1920. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that blend. It's just that I think it needed something more. I think, unfortunately, the final, see, 118, I think it drinks lower than that. But I love the fact that Bo's Wine Guy actually did a 3-bottle blend of 3 bottles that are actually available. So great job. That means, holy shit, Justin Mills with Sex Panther makes it through. Letter A. Oh, letter A was actually Shelf Stable by Matthew Smith. And then we have Justin Mills with the D. Always love the D. Isn't it fitting that letter D was Sex Panther? Wow. There you go. Congratulations to Mr. Justin Mills and Matthew Smith. You twos are moving on to the Sweet Six on the right side of the bracket. So that means next week, I mean, holy crap. Next week is going to be bananas. So here's the bracket, guys. We already have the left side of the bracket all done. That will be next week. Next week, we are going to the left side of the bracket. I can't even read. You know what? Let me actually open up. Let me actually open up the file that I have on the computer so I can see the actually full size bracket here, so I know who's going to be going next week. So next week, the Sweet Six Group 1 on week 7 is going to be Jeffrey Wack, Adam Hinson, Darren Clary, Big Vic, Nathan Jurgensen, and Miro. Then the following week, week 8, will be Adam Dorman, Jeff Perkins, Darrell Stewart, Wise Guy Stu, and then it looks like tonight, after tonight, Matthew Smith and Justin Mills. Oh, it's getting crazy. It is getting crazy here on Blendageddon. Guys, before we sign off here, I do want to talk about one more thing. This website's concerning. I want to talk about it a little bit. So, have you guys heard of this release by Oakley Spirits? Have you guys seen Oakley Spirits? So they are releasing. Yeah, that's a lineup next week. It's going to be pretty crazy. It would be great to see an up-to-date bracket. I'll post it in the community tab below once I update the bracket. You guys can see it before next week. A stable Sex Panther sounds like a really rare find. Cage match. Yeah, awesome blenders next week. It's going to be nuts. I have a really cool judge lined up, so we'll see how that goes. Again, somebody that I don't think that's been on the channel before. I don't think they've been on the channel before. Royal Rumble, who's going over the top? So here's the thing. There's this bourbon from Oakley Spirits that's been releasing, or that's going to release. They're releasing some of that 20-year Heaven Hill that's going around. Let me see if I can get in here. Am I in? Yeah. So these guys have. So Watch Proper Hill has been a group, and I think it's a bar that has been releasing this 20-year Heaven Hill stuff that's been absolutely otherworldly good. So now this company Oakley is coming out with their own 20-year Heaven Hill stuff. They're releasing separate barrels. I think they've released 1 or 2. There's going to be a 3rd barrel coming out. I'm actually borrowing a bottle from a buddy of mine, and I think I'm going to do a review on it. But if you look at the website, you guys know how I like to make fun of marketing. This website is so bad. It is like the hipster, old school Abercrombie and Fitch like bullshit like website. I'm going to share my screen right now. Check this out. This is the website. I got to show this website. I meant to share it earlier, but you guys, so this is the Oakley website. Check this out. Crafting a legend. First of all, they're not crafting shit. You're sourcing it. Step into the frontier of fine bourbon where each sip embodies boldness of our heritage and the elegance of our craft. It's like this is made with like AI. Look, there's people making out on the damn website. What is happening? When you have these pictures of barrels, there's a picture of a still. They're not distilling anything. What is happening? Then you have this guy who's in a, look on the right. He's in like a pool, like a natural hot spring. What is this guy doing? And then here's the bottle. This is the most hipster like bullshit website I've ever seen in my life. Why is the cork smoking? What happened? What are they? Did they light it? What's going on? Oakley beckons adventurers and connoisseurs alike with its unrivaled depth and character. Oh, it's just repeating. What is that image? Who are these two? Why are they all? What's happening with this website? I I don't understand what is going on. Now, okay, so here's the thing. So you can click here, and then it takes you to this bottle. This is 20-year Kentucky bourbon. This is Heaven Hill. This is 20-year Heaven Hill bourbon. $1,000 to get this shit. This website is shady AF. Is all I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't understand, but when you look at the marketing and the web, like there's a girl dancing in thunder and light. What the hell is happening? What's going on right now? Okay. There's fire. Oh, they brand it. That's why it's smoking. The top of it gets branded. They write it out. Very nice. But I don't, this shit is weird. With people making out on the river. And then this girl, is she just dancing in the Rick House on the left? What is going on? She's wearing a net dress, and I don't know what's going on. I don't. What thoughts on the price? $1,000 for this shit. I mean, I'm gonna buy because I don't want to feel like I'm swimming in a lake. but is it good? So here's the thing, though, and I'll say this straight up: the whiskey is apparently phenomenal. You're talking about 20-year Heaven Hill cask strength. There's no way that whiskey can be bad. But I just thought just like you have this 20-year Heaven Hill amazing bourbon, and then you have like this hipster like TikTok AI website. Like I don't understand the correlation. Like the juxtaposition between what you're getting for $1,000 versus what you see on that website. Oh my God. It's so weird. I don't get it. Listen, from what I've heard about the Watch Proper Hill stuff, Scott got a sample of it. He said it's incredible. It's such an incredible whiskey. And I'm sure that this stuff is probably along those lines. But when you combine it with that website looks so shady. I'm saying like Oakley, you're sourcing some incredible stuff, but that website is awful. Like you need to do some shit behind that. Bourbon Jerk, same guys behind Bull Run. Yeah. Excuse me. What the F is this? I don't know what that is. Yeah. Where's the butterfly? I gotta say this too, like Blue Run. I don't think Blue Run had people making out on their website. Like people making out, a dude in a lake. Like what is going on? Like I don't know what's going on with that brand. I don't know. Seems like P. Diddy was up to this. This guy's spraying baby oil everywhere. I don't know what's going on. I think he's peeing in the pond. I love it. I mean, the label is blue. Yeah. Blue Ball whiskey. Clearly we're not the target audience here. This looks like more. Yeah. A perfume commercial. That's a good call out. So again, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to like this bullshit marketing that's out there to sell bottles. And I get it. I mean, $1,000 for a Heaven Hill 20-year. It's weird because the Watch Proper Hill stuff was like 800 and 900, but for some reason I would feel better buying it from them than Oakley, just because that website is going to give me nightmares. That's so fucking weird. Oakley is a feeling. Rabbit Hole should do a Diddy whiskey. Call it Diddy Hole. Oh, you guys are killing me tonight. Diddy's bourbon would have an oily mouthfeel. No? Yeah, it would, Sweet Cindy. I think it would. I don't know. But that's the shit that's out there. I came across it. Somebody posted on Instagram that I saw a bottle of this stuff, and I was like, what is this? I looked it up, and I'm like, what is happening on this website? I need to show it to everybody. It's hilarious. This is like every damn... It's like old school... like luxury hipster marketing. It's so crazy. But then they're selling like a legit Heaven Hill 20-year bourbon for $1,000. It's like, yeah, that bourbon interests me, but if I buy that bourbon, is it going to come with a bottle of perfume or a bottle of What is it going to come with? It's just so crazy. They did check every box. Wooden box not included. Yeah, I don't know. Comes with a pair of Hey Dudes. Comes with a pair of Hey Dudes and glasses with no lenses. I don't know, man. But this is like the shit that's out there right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. Bourbon be crazy right now. So with that, that's where we're going to end the show tonight. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out tonight. Appreciate all the feedback. Had almost 500 people watching. A lot of people dipped off now because they probably didn't want to talk about video games or see people in the lake. But I'm here for it. So are you. Guys, love you all. Thanks for hanging out tonight. As I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share with. And tune in next week for a great episode where the first round, the left side of the bracket, is going to go head-to-head in Blendageddon. We'll see what comes out on top. More whiskeys to try, more news to share. And it's going to be a fun week. So see you guys next week right here on the Master and Drum. Cheers, everybody.